This is going to be, I might go as far to say this is probably where the game will be won is during picks and ban phase here, as depending on what gets through. Half Devil can support with just about anyone, and on the other side, you really don't want to let Poseidon get through just because Suntouch is pretty much notorious right now for his Poseidon. He brings him everywhere.
Well, it's London Conspiracy in the blue squares, Spicy Waffles on the bottom side in red. The ban's coming through. As you mentioned, Shibalanke going to go away, as well as Nua out of the first banning position for London Conspiracy. The Spicy Waffles have removed Osiris in addition to Giannis. No junglers banned in the banning phase here. Late game carry and Shibalanke, mid lane dominant mage for Nua. Athena. And then for Spicy Waffles, they've banned out Osiris and Giannis here. Two team fight controllers primarily, big rotating out of Giannis and the tether out of Osiris. Whoa! And it's a first pick, Cupid, leaving Athena, Poseidon, a lot of other high priority picks on the board, but maybe most notably and most reliably the Athena here.
Yeah.
And, well, Spicy Waffles taking no time at all to lock that one in, now considering their second selection.
Yeah, you saw exactly what Athena can do in that last game, right? Like, early on, she's popping beads, she's forcing you out, she's able to start with Mark of the Vanguard now, so she's able to aggress even more in lane, and now you mix that with the Circuit. Now, yesterday we saw from Legion a support Circuit. That's not going to be the case.
I don't
here,
think
guys.
that's a do, Scott.
That's
doesn't feel like a do to me.
That's not going to be the case here, but no shocker, as I said, Suntouch, he loves his Poseidon, man. You're going to see a lot of early rotation.
Whoa, a Wheelish.
Is this the first time?
Now, I'm going to call her a Wheelix this entire game because when my brain sees that word, that's what I say. But it is a Wheelish, a Wheelishay, something like that. Wheelish, I think, is pretty close to about what an American can do with that name. But a Wheelix and Suku going to be the selection here for London Conspiracy. A highly mobile, repositioning and gank-oriented base hunter. And, okay, Spicy Waffles snap picks Geb. This is why they're snap picking Geb. A Wheelix's ultimate will pull any knocked-up airborne targets, towards her. What does Geb do? Has a really low cooldown, probably best in the game knock-up. So this kind of forces them to look at the Bacchus or the Sylvanas as their options. Maybe a Sobek could be the support for London Conspiracy.
Bacchus is not on the table. Bacchus right now is severely hurt in this meta. He can't really do anything in the lane. I mean, when's the last time you saw a Belch actually stun someone, right? Like at a competitive level, it's not on the table. So Neath is going to get hit surprisingly enough. I guess they don't really want to deal with that, but I really like the Geb. And also, the big thing here is this is going to be an Athena mid, right? But Half Devil, you know him for his Geb play. You think of him like pressing one, rolling into the Fire Giant, and just stealing it. And like the crowd goes nuts. That's what you know Half Devil with. And you're going to mix that with an Agni. This team is going to be very, very safe.
For me, London Conspiracy has won this draft so far, albeit they do have an Wheelix, an untested jungler. But just the Cupid Poseidon, Spicy Waffles has made this game so much harder than it needed to be for themselves by drafting
the Geb.
The role. No, Athena, Circuit, Geb, Agni. All four of these gods highly reliant on mobility to get the job done. And you have two of the best. Now the three best cripples in the game on the side of London Conspiracy and Ares, Poseidon, Cupid. Large AoEs, long duration, and Ares, who's just an absolute ridiculous dominant powerhouse against single target mobility-based gods. And look, now they've drafted a Rom as well. Why not add some more mobility on top of your mobility problems, right?
Yeah.
So
fair.
While Spicy Waffles can, in theory, kite around London Conspiracy in these battles, win the matchups through spreading the map and pickoffs, London Conspiracy has the much, much easier 5-man, with the exception of a Wheelix. I don't see exactly how she fits in this lineup, but it'll be interesting to find out.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be bad. I mean, I guess you got Tyr, right? And we haven't seen Tyr. We didn't see Tyr yesterday. We're going to see Tyr today. Tyr is almost in his own class in the solo lane now just because he just fits now. Like, before it was like, okay, Tyr. Okay, Divios, you're just better than people. But Tyr now actually is fit, and most solo laners are having them in his top 3 gods. So Tyr is going to be very, very good. But my kind of question here is, how in the world does Arrow on Athena deal with Snakeskin, who was like one of the top solo lane free agents in the offseason?
I think Athena has a pretty fine matchup versus Tyr, honestly.
Well, what do you do?
Just shield wall does so much damage
that
you can clear effectively. She'll probably go a Mystical Mail, or Mystical Mark here, I'm sorry. No, I had it right the first time. Mystical Mail she'll probably be going for. That would be my guess on the Athena. We'll see what she goes for, but...
well, obviously it's CDR boost.
So you should also expect, and this is actually a good thing to think about, if Arrow is actually a good solo laner, when you play soloing Athena and Sobek, and especially and maybe exclusively Guardian-based solo laners, you have to freeze the lane. Like, only take the last hits, never be attacking their minions unless you absolutely have to. You have to maintain that lane control. You have to strip experience because Guardians scale very effectively with levels up until you can't level your damage abilities anymore, right? Once you max out shield wall for the Athena, her lane dominance will start going away. She needs to be ahead enough at that point to still hold it down. It's a tough lane for Arrow, definitely. Any way you shake it. So we'll definitely keep our eye on exactly how this Athena manages the tier.
Well, no shocker here. Pretty much the starts for both teams are the exact same. You're going to have 3 people on the red, then you're going to go to the purple. Now, I'm expecting that to kind of fade away unless you have a very, very fast clear time. And that's really just because if Order side has someone with good clear, they're able to shove that wave, so then Chaos side is going to miss that entire wave. So I'm expecting to see something change unless you have really good clear.
Well, looking in the right side lane here, it's Circuit and Athena going up against the Awilix tier. Advantage definitely to the Awilix tier. A lot more resiliency on that side. Awilix has definitely a longer range to deal damage than the Circuit. And as you can see, Ninja Bobat, he's going to go to the mid lane and just look to leech some experience away from the Agni. Hit his level 3 nice and early there, and then move right along. And
that's a fantastic ward. You can see that ward right in between the speed buff and the outer wall there, and that's going to give you so much vision. And that's Suntouch placing that. Suntouch is so used to getting like 5-man ganked when he streams that he's like I know how to be safe.
He's got streamer instinct.
Yeah, he's like, I know how to be safe in this game. I'm used to this.
We'll see. Right side lane, it's Snakeskin and Era, as we mentioned here, and well, in the early part of the game, it's just going to be a little bit of a slugfest between these two. Tier to a little bit of a disadvantage of the Athena in terms of wave clear through about the first 6 levels, we'll say. Shield wall, an unbelievable skill. This is the soldiers, the kind of clear soldiers that Athena drops down in the circle. They do damage when they come out. It looks like this, and then it'll do damage again. She can taunting the tier in. And you can see just how much damage that ability does. It's absolutely ridiculous, which is really what lets Athena get away with not only being an excellent Guardian, that out of her taunt, but jungling and solo laning from the shield wall.
Yeah, we've even seen her in the mid, and that's mainly just because of Kiki, but she might have kill potential here. She missed her spear. Snakeskin's going to heal up there as he switched stances with Tyr, and he's just going to be able to stay in this wave just a little bit longer here. But you can see this is a huge rotation. They're committing a lot on this, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead and give up on it and just eat this next wave. They have Harpies coming up in about 40 seconds, so that's really where the point of contention is going to be.
See Suku, Awilix riding her cat there, cat known as Suku. She has the option of either leaping off of the cat and dealing damage where she lands, or simply right-clicking to dismount, which does not put the cat on cooldown. You just use the mana cost for activating it. Important to note that Awilix's passive is if she hits the enemy target first, if she's the first one to deal damage in the engagement, she gets a power buff for, I think, 4 seconds, which is why you need to be looking for either if she jumps off of the cat or dismounts. It's actually pretty important for how mobile she's going to be getting out of the fight and how much damage you can expect her to do in the beginning of the fight.
I think a lot of people underestimate how much power she has as well, right? I think so many people are like, oh, she's just really, really hard. Like, I don't want to invest the time. But most of the really hard gods in, like, any game ever are, like, normally the biggest damage dealers. Like,
yeah, probably worth it.
That's kind of how that works out. So,
yeah, I think that Awilix, her ultimate, it grabs the closest airborne target, pulling it to her from, like, absurd distance.
It's like 70 units.
It's obviously really, really good in coordinated team fights, but it also gives her an enormous physical power boost and attack speed steroid. It's like a super steroid, basically, when you use it. And she's an incredibly good tower killer when she has that active. She's a really good single target physical damage dealer as well. She also has a pretty decent path up as a ability-based damage dealer. So I think that she has a lot of different ways to be played, but it all really comes down to how well you use that feather step, that flipping over the target's head. It gives a lot of immunity frames, and when used properly, makes Awilix extremely difficult to take down. She becomes almost an evasion tank if played kind of exactly right versus the right gods.
Yeah, this is why I love Poseidon. He has such safe clear. Now, obviously, he doesn't have an escape. You almost have to go, like, sprint with him to get out. But Trident's going to give you a little bit of a speed boost, at least a little bit. And plus, if you turn on him, you're going to be hitting, like, 300 with every spike. So it helps, but the big thing about him is just, like, you can press 3, throw your whirlpool down, and then just tidal wave. And that's the full wave.
Right, yeah. Poseidon has extremely safe lane clear. Nearly taking a spill, though, over in the left side lane is going to be the ROM being controlled by Yaman. So Shaggy Shank and Emilzy getting the better of this lane so far, which is great for them. Ares not an easy god to play the first 3 levels with. Very, very momentum dependent is Ares, and well, now sitting at level 6, Emilzy, I'm sorry, has gotten through the hard part of the game. He's a level ahead of the Geb, and he is looking fit to deal some damage. Ares, an incredibly strong damage output tank. It is 0-0 overall here, though. No kills at the 5-minute mark. Still waiting on that first blood as London Conspiracy is pulling a little bit ahead of the Spicy Waffles in the passive farm game, but without the first blood yet, it's still anyone's game.
Aren't you a little bit surprised that Ares, who, although he's weak early on, he has really high kill potential early on as well, didn't go with the Mark of the Vanguard?
I am surprised, and the reason that I am surprised is that Ares was one of the only gods that it was viable to pick this item up on before the season change, where now it's become a very popular item. We'll see if Emilzy in a bit of trouble here. There is the chains coming out, only hitting one, but Geb in a lot of trouble. The Wheelix hops over. Geb maybe to fall here. No, it's a beautiful circuit ultimate to hold him out, and now trying to fall back is Ninja Bobat. It's a full-on retreat from the Spicy Waffles. Red Trunks survive without any deaths there, and somehow Emilzy makes that as well.
That was a little bit of a misplay there by Half Devil. You saw him turn. He hits a 180 knockup, but he didn't hit it on no one. Fields of Love comes down. Agni's got that. There's Noxious Fumes. Arrow, excuse me, is able to get that, and the bombs. Oh, I thought he was going to dunk it.
It was such a good play by Wolfie and such a misplay by Yaman there, unfortunately. All the bombs hit, but none of the ultimate shots from the ROM.
That lag.
Maybe they were like, oh,
lag.
shoot left, you shoot right, sort of thing. Yeah, lag, exactly, lag problem there. My mouse button got stuck.
Yeah, that's all that was.
But let's go back to the Ares real quick. So I'm not surprised that the Ares is doing well without the Mark of the Vanguard, as it is Emilzy. I'm surprised that he didn't pick it up just because it was so good on him before, but Emilzy, as we mentioned, if anybody's going to be bringing a new item and like being really sure that mathematically it's going to be the better choice, it's going to be Emilzy, and it's paying out. He is ahead of the Geb. He's about half a level of experience ahead of the Geb.
Yep. Now, oddly enough, okay, so Half Devil's thought is he's going to go CDR boots just so he can, I guess, so he can get out more stone shields and more knockups. I'm assuming that's kind of how it goes, but he's going to go Heartward Amulet most likely next. That seems to be the standard. And he doesn't really need a Lotus Crown. So his build in the next, 10 minutes, I'm not sure what his thought process is going to be, but I'm very interested.
Well,
CDR boots, it's like, why would
we have an Athena ultimate coming out. Look at the Gold Fury fight coming down. Now looking to engage. Here comes the Circuit. Gold Fury starting to get a bit low. Agni Bomb's doing a lot of damage to Half Devil. Finds a kill onto Emilzy. That's the tank down, which means that the Spicy Waffles will take the Gold Fury easily. And now trying to lock down Sun Touch here. The last Agni Bomb is going to be on the mark, but no dot active with the passive from Agni. Dashing in is the Athena Soul Lane. It's a lot of damage out of Shield Wall. If the first hit enough to find the kill. Gem Shield, excellent for the Circuit to get back out of there. It's almost as if she has a pocket healer here to go in and out of tower range. And just trying to hold off the assault on mid is Snakeskin. He's just trying to stall them. The Wheelix and Ares rotating back in. Agni Stun comes through. There's a Geb knock him. No, they're stealing. No, they're not actually scaling that well there, unfortunately.
He hasn't hit one yet. There it is. He finally hit a Wheelix on the third one there. Athena finally forced all the way out.
Tough game for Yaman.
Yeah, tough ults, man. Those ults are hard to hit. I mean, the radius does get smaller and smaller as they progress. But the third one also gives you the biggest damage increase as well because it's smaller. The one thing that was shocking to me yesterday, Bart, and I know you watched a little bit as well, even though it was your off day, just because you love Smite, is the fact that there's no real deviation in the Hunter builds. Like, I was really hoping there was going to be something, but there isn't. It's like, finished boots, now Ickable, Executioner, same old stuff. Fields of Love's going to come down. Yaman could be in some trouble. He's got this stone shield. He dodges, and Shaggy Shank's going to make him pay.
I love that about Shaggy Shank's play. Very rarely do you see him rush the stroke on shots. Definitely, he shot that first one off after the Mesmerize broke. A little bit willy-nilly, but definitely took the time to find that second shot and put it right on the money.
Now, Athena looking to go into Bancroft's Town. That's something that we normally don't see on Athena just because Athena's also played as a support, so she's going to be doing a lot of damage. You can also see she has teleport as well, really trying to put the global presence down. You could argue that she doesn't really need that due to the cooldown of the ultimate, but it's not going to hurt.
Well, at the end of the day, this is kind of what makes MOBAs so appealing. These interactions like this. You can use the ultimate now to engage anywhere on the map and then use your active to teleport back to your lane and have ridiculous XP farm potential. Obviously, when you buy this kind of item on a god with a global presence, you have to play accordingly. So it kind of comes out of that. I think that it's a fine pickup for Arrow. I think it's obviously there's a strategic advantage to having this much mobility on your Athena. It's just a question of can Arrow play it in a way that maximizes that type of presence.
Now, Snakeskin looking for a little bit of a slap fight here, and that's really just bait. You can see Poseidon's rotating around. Suntouch has to throw the booms, and this is going to be big, and she's just going to get out of here.
Yep. And away she goes to the mid lane where she meets up with Geb. They're going to farm out this wave.
That's big.
Well, it's
that's huge.
Very XP efficient, if nothing else.
Yeah, very, very XP efficient. Now, when you look at Poseidon, Poseidon's getting ready to go into Spear of Magus. Now, that's going to obviously proc on every single part of the Trident, but he doesn't really have any power. He doesn't have any power.
Arrow, a little bit lazy there, actually. Gets his teleport active canceled, but now he goes, and there. You can see kind of exactly what he was going for, but he gets it a little bit later than he wanted to. Quite a bit of damage coming from Snakeskin, but Snakeskin taking a lot of return from that Athena shield wall.
He's got some sustain, though. Obviously, he switched stance. He's in his defensive garden right now. He's going to be able to heal on this next set of minions, so he shouldn't be in too much of a trouble here as Rom's looking to make the poke here. But, you know, that's why Tyr is strong, because he has the sustain, and Suntouch is not giving up on this Athena. He just doesn't know where these wards are. You can see the last time he went around through the blue, and he saw it coming, and then this time he went the other way. They still saw it coming.
I mean, if London Conspiracy, like, I think they drafted the Awelix, right, forcing out the Geb pick so they could pick Ares. That just sounds like a mealsy to me.
You think that's really the thought process, just because, you know, the chains go down on the rollout? And
oh, yeah, because Ares gobbles up Geb, right?
Yeah.
It's a great matchup for the Ares if he can get through that early stage. And if that's why they picked this Awelix so high priority,
Talaria boots?
Oh, dude. Okay.
He went Talaria boots.
So Talaria boots, in my opinion, and Emil's opinion as well.
Traveler shoes.
The Traveler shoes.
Okay, sorry.
He's a magic damage dealer. They're called Traveler shoes.
Okay. Sorry.
Big HP 5 out of combat. Big movement speed out of combat. I think that these are one of the sleeper hits of season 2. Yeah.
I mean, you're never going to complain about being more mobile.
Yeah, you're going to be more mobile,
yeah,
and you're going to have a lot of sustain on these long rotations. And Ares, well, not that mobile. He waddles around, basically. He's going to have a lot of time for that HP 5 to work for him. And with the passive armor aura that he brings with his number 2, I'm sorry, not passive, but the activatable aura that he brings with his 2, he's going to always be kind of full HP. He's going to have a lot of armor. He's just going to be really hard to take down these fights. What he will not have, however, is a tremendous amount of damage. Scaling, but luckily for him, he's Ares, and his spells do all of the damage.
Well, definitely keep your eyes on Ares. I'm
also,
very, very
you know what?
intrigued.
I'm going to check here.
All right, you're going to check. I'm with it.
I was wondering if maybe he had max searing flesh. I would have been surprised, but not that surprised if he was trying to farm. But no, it's a 5 chains 3 searing flesh.
Rip.
As the damage coming down on Red Foo, and they're going to use a lot here to get this kill. No, the Mez with Cupid's enough, and the Ares ultimate is here, pulling 2 back in. Over the top comes the Romp, but still hasn't found the kill, and still can't find the kill. Oh my goodness. Down will go Serket, Geb, and Athena so far for Spicy Waffles. Just the Agni and Yaman alive. Yaman still looking for that kill.
Wolfie has mana. He used all 3 of his bombs, so he's waiting on the cooldown. They can contest this if they really want to, but I don't think I think they're just gonna go for the mid clear and the left clear, and that's a huge win for London Conspiracy. As you can kind of see, the chart just kind of dip and change. London Conspiracy taking their first real lead of the game since the beginning, which is really, really important. But the one thing London Conspiracy has to note is that Ninja Bobat with Serket is getting to that point where Serket can do Serket things and really just jump on someone, explode them.
Done.
Yeah, Jotun's Wrath's done. She's going to jump on them. She's going to explode them. And that's going to be very, very high kill potential.
Porting into the tower there is Athena. She's just all over the place, man.
She's everywhere.
But now that she's ported into the mid lane to potentially save that Agni, Agni ended up being okay. You could see Red Foo rotating to the right side here to maybe push with this tier as Athena's makes way over. Nope, it's just back camps, so I'm off the mark there. But Awelix also kind of getting to that activation point. Not done with Jotun's Wrath just yet, but she's pretty close to being able to just pop that ultimate and take down towers exceptionally fast.
The Wing Blade getting ready to come out here for Half Devil. Half Devil is going to be very, very mobile very soon. And, you know, the one thing we haven't really talked about is Yaman taking on Shaggy Shag, right? Like, Yaman's been missing things, but now he's got... That's a beautiful beads. That was a lot wasted on Shaggy Shag.
Yeah.
He is very, very calculated.
Yeah, you know, I think that maybe they should have looked to get that Rom cripple shot off a little bit earlier. Let's see if they could force the beads off of a different set of moves, not that Cataclysm, because it kind of all stacked up at once, and as you mentioned, he was able to purge basically everything, with one fell swoop. So,
Look at that rotation we just saw out of London Conspiracy, by the way. That was a 4-man grouping to try to get in and take either the purple or the red buff. That is a lot of commitment coming out for them. You can see how well they work together as a team. Keep in mind, this team has been pretty much formed since before SWC. They've been practicing day in and day out. Mm-hmm. And that's just what SunTouch brings.
Look at the amount of ward coverage on the left side of the map. Both of the teams investing a lot here for vision on this left duo side, and in comparison, very little on the right side of the map, although now we are seeing London Conspiracy start to ward up aggressively into the Spicy Waffles jungles on the right side here. Ninja Bobat, well, he's really still looking for his impact in this game. Had that one ultimate that was pretty clutch on the left side, but hasn't really shown his head. And another person we're still kind of waiting on is of anyone, SunTouch is Poseidon here. Not seeing much come out of this Poseidon so far. No big Kraken. 0-1-1. Has rotated a lot.
He went spear first.
Well, spear's a lot of damage. Don't discount the spear. Bringing
but Bancrofts and then into spear is like whoosh. Trident's hitting.
Well, they want to fight early with the spear. That's what that says, right? And it synergizes exceptionally well with the Ares, bringing down the protections for the Ares as well with the chains. Now, you're right insofar as that they don't have any other magical damage to follow it up is why I think it is a little strange, right? It's just the Ares. It's not like you have another magic damage core that it's going to help with. And there's 2 Bancrofts on the side of the Spicy Waffles. So he's definitely losing that lifesteal game, and well, he's looking for a Book of Thoth that appears after this.
Which is never a bad idea.
Yeah, that's right. It's a lot of damage, never a bad idea. But it is a little bit of a curious item progression nonetheless out of Poseidon. And, well, it hasn't paid out. 0-1-1 for him.
I think the thought process is you get the spear on there to kind of do the damage with the trident so he can be more auto attack based to synergize with his team just a little bit more. And then the Book of Thoth, getting it this late in the game, whereas Warlocks is going to be pretty much a 10-minute investment that you have to stack up. Yes, you get good health, but it's not nearly as good as Book of Thoth at this point in the game where it's like, okay, I'm getting 100 flat power and then everything else is good.
Yeah, that's you're right. You're right. It's just without that flat magical power item, it's just not bringing the same amount of oomph to these team fights. So looking for him to still get invested in these fights. They do have that level 16 tier, so waiting in the wings. His Height of the Urchin done, working towards a Jotun's Wrath of his own. Looking for kill, maybe onto Serket, but she's a tricky target to lock down. We did see a moment ago Red Fu pop his ultimate preemptively trying to find a kill, so they're not going to have that tool available here for about another 20 to 30 seconds, and Spicy Waffles is a decent time to force a fight, although Awilix's ultimate, not really that big team fight ultimate you're looking to aggress when it's down.
Now, Emilzy does have a Sentry Ward in his pocket as well as Shaggy Shank, so they know Gold Fury's going to be up in about 35 seconds, and now here comes the counter ward battle. Really is what it comes down to, and that's why Shaggy Shank picked one up, just in case, Emilzy's gets taken out.
Numbers game.
Yeah, which means Spicy Waffles needs to be hitting tab and making sure how many Sentry Wards are in their pockets so they don't invest too much. Just those tiny little things really make London Conspiracy trying to take that advantage more and more of this game.
Yeah, if you've ever trying to improve your own play, especially playing 5-man, and you can't figure out why you're losing the vision battle, it's because the enemy team is hitting tab and counting how many Sentry Wards you have at all times. Anytime they see a god, they're going to be looking to see if it's holding a Sentry Ward and just trying to stay one up and making sure they have one more Sentry Ward than you do at all times. It's really one of the things that separates the men from the boys in a competitive Smite.
We might go ahead and see Serket rotate over here. Now, taking a look at the actives that we have of Cupid, he's electing to not go with the gas pedal approach of Sprint 3 and instead going with the Aegis Beats. Yeah. I kind of like him with speed or sprint. I like him with sprint more than I like him with an Aegis.
Well, the reason that it works for Cupid is that Cupid could always drop his ultimate on top of himself and Aegis, right? And if you've invested too heavily or blown your escapes to get in there, he can kind of just wait it out, and what are you going to do about it? You're going to either eat the mez or you're going to run away from him. Unless you have something like maybe like a Kraken with a delayed release that you can look to explode the Aegis.
Well, if there was ever a doubt, if we were watching Europe, there's not anymore. This is the definition of the European meta, where it's start the Gold Fury, I dare you. Now we're going to commit. And now we're going to see the Blake from
Half-Devil. But he's not getting anything out of it.
Oh, now he's going to wait.
Taunt. Now the double knock-up. Where's the Awilix ultimate? She's just now making her way into the fight, popping up onto Suku. She's going to try to run this one down, leaping in, but up into the sky goes the Rob, but he's going to die as the Heart Bomb pops. Moving back for his Ninja Bobat, preemptive beat, trying to get the cooldowns back. Isn't enough to find the kill. Snakes it will go down. Now once again off of Suku's Red Fu, but Ninja Bobat just so mobile, missing the knock up there, and over the wall goes Ninja Bobat. SunTouch off the mark with his Whirlpool. Half Devil here as well. Very greedy out of Half Devil. Shaggy Shank full health and ready to fight. This should be the Gold Fury in favor of London Conspiracy as the Spicy Waffles. Very, very low HP right now. Arrow in a little bit of the meat grinder, but he's now moving forward once again onto Poseidon. Heart Bomb does hit. Looked off the mark, but did hit. Shaggy Shank using beads again to avoid the CC.
Ninja Bobat's crazy for going into that one.
Yeah.
That's a heart bomb waiting to blow you up, Sir Cat. You do not have those kind of protections.
After it all, Shaggy Shank still farming the mid lane, pressuring the mid tower, and relatively unscathed was the outcome here for him. So he does have 60 stacks on the gloves, plus the Ick-File can go and decently well sold Gold Fury, but they don't think they have enough damage even with that Awilix to take it down, and now they'll just be happy with their tier 1. Maybe not. Bobat, here he is. There's the ultimate as well. There's a Poseidon whirlpool to run through. There's the Aegis coming into effect, but it doesn't matter. Down goes Shaggy Shank. He'll trade his life for the tier 1.
You know, the one thing I will take from that previous team fight is how strong Awilix is. You saw, like, Sirket kind of jumps in, tries to grab on one person, but Awilix was just in everything and just really did everything she could, and she jumped on Suku. She has great chase down potential. She is a very, very strong guy.
Yeah, it seems like there's a little bit of nerves at a London Conspiracy here. A couple times we've seen Red Foo, well, speaking of which, go down there. We've seen him be a little bit early, jumping the gun and using his ultimate, and we haven't seen that big Kraken either from Touch.
He missed.
Yeah.
That's a big miss here. Half Devil's got Athena coming in as well. They could follow it up if they do so wish to, but Snakeskin now is just going to kind of chill. They're going to take their jungle, give up the Gold Fury. Sunset's really needed to hit that Kraken.
Yeah, we're still looking for that Kraken from him. Still looking for that big Red Foo ultimate. I think, you know, it's a little nerves. It's got to be. Because these are, especially in the case of Suntouch and Poseidon, these are like signature gods, right?
Oh, for sure.
That's definitely one of his go-to. He's not normally missing that Kraken. So
no, not at all. I mean, Suntouch notorious for his Poseidon, really just throughout his streams predominantly, but you know, I think it could just be like a call-out thing where it's like, yeah, I got him, their beads are down, and then all of a sudden the beads weren't down. He preemptively throws the Kraken, they don't get pulled in by the Ares, and then it's just like, oh, sorry, we got their beads again.
Yeah, let's look at Geb here. No auras out of the Geb, even with so many really strong aura items available for Guardians. Half Devil. Gonna be not looking for it until his third item.
He doesn't have a lot of health either, right?
Like, highly mobile, a lot of cooldown.
A lot of cooldown. He doesn't have Heartward Amulet, which is like the biggest one. I mean, Heartward Amulet is probably one of the best items you can get. I mean, you're getting 300 plus health and protections, and that is a no-brainer to pick up at this point. And Sovereignty, I think a lot of people are like kind of on the fence with it. Yeah, it got nerfed, but it also got reduced in cost, which means it is cost effective to get, and it does serve its place. I just don't know if people even realize it.
Well, now the Spirit Robes are coming out, Scott. It's one on the Athena, another one being picked up now by the Awilix. Both of them looking to get the protections over the raw health with this item. Emil's in a bit of trouble. They're going to try to take out the Ares and look for an objective play. His ultimate is going to go off onto Half Devil. There's a nice Kraken. Hitting 2. But making her way out is a Circuit. Nicely played by Half Devil to get that last little bit of shield off. And they do pick up Emilzy in the meantime as well. So trading tanks are the teams. Dashing forward as Arrow. Don't want to get locked down by Snakeskin here. But now with their Hunter rotating in and Red Foo off into the wing, it's a pretty easy stand and fight opportunity for Spicy Waffles. They know the Kraken's down as well. All they really have to look out for is going to be the AoE Mesmerize.
Yeah, and they also have to make sure that Snakeskin doesn't catch any of them with a Fearless here. He could juggle them right into a Cupid, as you're going to see right here, and then he's going to be able to dash out. That's why Tier's scary right now. That Heart Bomb's going to be on Athena, doing a good job not making sure she's grouped up with her teammates, taking unnecessary damage. And, you know, Tier, he rushed the height of the Urchin, which we haven't seen since, like, the beginning of Season 1. But it worked out for him. He's been a part of all the stacks, or all the fights, so he has the stacks.
Well, it's a fine item versus the Athena. She, as you mentioned, even though she is a strong laner, it's all out of that one spell. So Height of the Urchin, you know, it's not as good as something like a Rune Forged in many cases in terms of just the raw HP you get to itemize against big ultimates, but that's not what Athena has.
No way. Gammon and Athena or Arrow just committed trying to get a pick on Cupid. Cupid just stayed still, and they were like, oh, he's back. Let's give up on it. That is a huge play by Cupid. Yeah, he just stood still.
Clever stuff by Shaggy Shank, just standing still. I guess they thought he was recalling?
That's the tomfoolery? Yeah. They saw him disappear. He shoved the wave, and then he backed up, and they were like, oh, okay, we can't get him. And then they gave up on it. That's huge. But because
or
of this,
the calls to the Fire Giant came out. Now they notice the Cupid is still farming on the left side. They're going to start it up, but it's in the face of London Conspiracy. They're right here. Emilzy standing in the wings. Half Devil, maybe they're trying to just bait the fight here. Red Food's going to use his ultimate preemptively yet again. Circuit ultimate out on Suzuku. He goes, but not in time. And the poison is spread. In a lot of trouble now. Emilzy is here. No healing for you. Wolfie's getting CC'd. Snakeskin with a big engagement on the backside to keep his team safe. When that poison was active, you see most of the players down to about half HP, but Snakeskin still rallying in the front side. Tier saving that team fight.
He's taking no damage at all. Ares is going to go ahead and blink in with the chains. Gamon's going to be in a lot of trouble there. You can see his health just deplete. He's forced to ult. He might be able to get a big kill. He's got one. Or Ninja Bobat actually got one. He's going to be able to get the lifesteal as well on Ares. But look at this. Snakeskin still just full health as Ninja Bobat's just going to come in, try to throw it on him. But Cupid, meanwhile, is just split pushing. He's going to get a Phoenix. And this is a huge win for London Conspiracy.
Yeah, Snakeskin turns this game for them at that fight there. That initiation on the backline saved the fight when 3 members were affected by the Circuit ultimate poison. It makes enough room for Shaggy Shank to take a left side Phoenix as well. On the opposite side of the Fire Giant, spreading the map wide open. Next huge. Fire Giant should go to London Conspiracy. You can see Geb for Spicy Waffles and Half Devil rallying to the right side of the map now as they're going to desperately try to stop this from going down. But they're going to be forced to leave their Rom and Yaman on the left side. It's a huge tactical play there and big strategic advantage netted for London Conspiracy. They should be rallying, picking up items, and grouping as 5 to try to make some plays. And a lot of credit to Ninja Bobat in that fight as well. Probably the second player to watch. Really kept Spicy Waffles in that a little bit longer than they could have been. The Deathbringer paying dividends in that engagement. So overall, some nice play, but London Conspiracy coming out ahead and with the advantage now going into the 26-minute mark.
Just look at Tier, man. 4-1-5. This is what we were talking about. Tier is finally at this level where in a team fight, he gets the 40 power from the boots as well. So he doesn't have the pen, but he gets the 40 power, which means he can kind of delay his power off the beginning. So he can go something like Runeforge or Height of the Urchin, both are viable, and then he gets the Jotuns. And then he already has so much sustain when he switches stances in that team fight that you really can't focus him at all, but then you don't realize how much damage he's doing.
Well, it's still just a very typical Tier build. Items may change, meta may shift, but Tier's always going to be building damage boots and then a lot of utility hybrid items. Emilzy in a lot of trouble here. That's a big crack, and Emilzy to go down for his ultimate comes off. It's a good pull of the trigger there just to secure the kill onto 1 as they do pick up Emilzy. Unfortunately, leaves Half Devil for it as well, so no one's going for the Fire Giant too quickly here. Athena, she's all the way on the left side. She's going to get some free farm out of this, but not really building or itemizing into damage items now is Arrow. Well, no, I held my tongue there. Is it looking to be a Ratatouille coming out as his final item here before he sells up that Vampiric Shroud. Getting enough CDR out of Boots and Spirit Robe that it's pretty safe to say that's not going to be a Chronos Pendant. And, well, a Dumor would be straight foolish at this point to get.
Yeah,
so
come on.
Ratatouille, it's got to be.
With that. And, well, looks like we got a little bit of a pause here as the players are going to try to juggle this just a little bit. But, looking at it, what's funny is the fact that when you watch this game, that it's very, very hard for them to start this Fire Giant due to the fact that
they keep on losing
Athena
supports.
but Athena is like across the map, but they have no idea what's up. They don't know if teleport's up. They don't know if
so Spicy Waffles does have 2 Hand of the God 3s now online, the Athena and the Geb. They've had that for a bit, so that helps them out a little bit. In that last fight, we saw the Kraken use right off the bat from Suntouch, pulling the trigger to pick up the kill onto Geb, which is a great play there, right? Securing the kill, making sure that it gives you an opportunity to go for that objective. It's always worth it to try to kill the enemy support with your ultimates around the 30-minute mark. But unfortunately, they lose Emilzy as well. If they would have made it out of that fight without Emilzy, they would have been just fine. But let's take a look at the right side where Suntouch finds himself in a lot of trouble, even with the movement speed up aside and run down by Yaman, just walk down with the in-hands on Suko already as Red Food now going to leap off. Can they follow it up? They're looking forward as Half Devil rotates forward. Snakeskin is once again holding the team down in the back line. His bead's going to be forced out there. Was it a Magi's Blessing he's recently completed? I'm not sure as the team fight continues
on.
Yeah, it was
a
Magi's. It was the Winged Blade is what actually we saw proccing there. Now Half Devil, he's going to get eaten up by the Cupid Mez. Cupid still trying to find his way to stay in this fight, standing his ground, but down he does go. Once again, Yaman not being very effective on the ROM with the ultimate. It's a 2-man pull. In comes the Awelix, but she doesn't bring much to the table in that AoE damage category. Ninja Bobat saved out by the Geb Shield. He's being bounced around by Snakeskin, now taunting him out. Going to look to fight this one, now making his way back to the team, and it's a retreat for Spicy Waffles. They get out cleanly as well, aggressing deeply on the right side while finding a kill onto 2.
That was all started because Cupid committed so hard on an Athena who has global presence on that left lane, and then they were able to start that fight. But at the end of the day, London Conspiracy, really gets lucky almost with the fact that they didn't prioritize. They had the advantage. That was a 5-on-4. There's no reason why they didn't wipe them in that spot.
Right, yeah. I mean, Spicy Waffles able to fall back out, and they do, in some respects, I guess, save some damage on their Titan as as Ninja Bobat's going to be able to push this back a little bit. He's taking percentages a second now, right now, basically, as the Fire Minions stream in. That left Phoenix falls again in that fight, though, which is maybe more important than the fact that they saved the damage.
Yeah, they could Fire Giant here.
Yes, they could.
They really could. I mean, they know that Serket's all the way in the back. Serket's the one who's been giving them the most trouble. You can see the Magi's come up, which is going to help Awilix. She's not going to get mezzed at all here from Serket, but they're actually going to pass up the damage onto the Titan for this. So if you're London Conspiracy, you really just stall out and try to get as much free damage on this Titan as possible. You can see in the top right, 85% and drop it.
Arrow going back to defend after blowing the Magi's Blessing on Snakeskin, which it definitely was in the last fight that got proc there. A little bit of a miscall. His wing blade is still up as you see it swirling about his feet.
I called it right.
Yeah, you did. You got it. Great job, Scott. You're number one in my book.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, no problem. But it's obviously a big grouping on the right side. It's a 5v4. London Conspiracy, they know they have the advantage here. They see that Athena. They're just trying to figure out exactly what to do. And well, the do seems to be Snakeskin. Fight the whole team. We're going to try to take the Fire Giant. Now getting very low, and they do indeed secure it and can push forward with the Fire Giant buff. The tier commanding a lot of respect. Heavily agility used now as well by the Unchained God. Or rather, the Chaining God.
Well, the chains come out. Everyone uses their ultimates or beads to cleanse through it. They're looking to try to attempt to hold this tier 2. Meanwhile, Athena on the left side still has not committed. They're going to give up this tier 2 as they should, and now they're going to look to fight right here at the right Phoenix. Well, this is going to be really, really hard for them to hold.
I mean, they could just walk. I mean, look at tier. Like, they didn't fight the tier as 5 before. What makes you think they're going to do it now? Cupid Ultimate used aggressively here to try to push in from Shaggy Shake. Half Devil making his way to the front, but the team's zoned out. But not only the tier, but also by now the Kraken that's right on the mark as the Fearless Chain comes through. Well played there by Snakeskin and Suntouch in conjunction. The crit's going to throw an arrow. Athena starting to drop. Can they find the rest of the damage? They can, but they push her off the mark. There is the ultimate. The dunk from tier coming through. Yaman falling as well. That's their damage spell. And now it's just Ninja Bobat into the well. And Serket, she's good at a lot of things, but holding off multiple members of a team, pushing their way into the base is not it. Titan gonna be falling, and down will fall the Spicy Waffles. London Conspiracy finding a